So I'm subscribed to a lot of forums and Facebook groups, and one of the groups day in and day out talks about Roku every single day, and I have no idea why. Because to me, as a speculative business value investor, Roku is probably one of the most boring companies that I know of. They constantly share screenshots, making a ton of money, and I've had enough. I was like, fajita, I need to know why. I need to know if I'm missing something and if there's something I need to share with you guys. What I've learned is that Roku is actually a really interesting momentum trading opportunity. And that makes sense. But at the same time, I've discovered that there might be an additional upside that we did not see before. In this video, we're going to talk about the business values of what Roku does, pros and cons of investing in it, and how it might fit in your portfolio. If this is the type of content you've been looking for, please hit the like button and let's get started. So Roku's business is actually really straightforward. Their entire idea is giving you a piece of hardware that you can buy and then supporting it with the software that they've built so that it's a platform for your TV, turning your TV smarter, allowing you to stream digital content. They're basically revolutionizing cable TV. The cost of the hardware is very cheap, and so most of the money is made off of the platform, upselling these customers. And that makes sense. They're basically going with a printer model, right? I give you a printer for free, you pay for the cartridges, which is essentially a subscription fee for the rest of your life. So far, they have 40 million subscribers, and they're trying to get to 60 in the next 4 to 5 years. Their average revenue per user has gone up by almost 30%, which again makes sense, right? Because they're pulling in more and more quality content onto their platform, incentivizing their existing users to buy more. Year over year, though, they've only added about 3 million users, which to me is kind of a red flag. Nonetheless, their shtick is to capture the users from cable TV. Cable TV makes you pay a bundle with a shit ton of channels that you might not need, right? With Roku, you're basically paying for what you need, and you have about 90% of the coverage that cable TV offers. I researched a ton trying to figure out whether Roku is still relevant and whether it's a worthwhile investment. When I was researching Roku, the front page results from Google included articles from 2012, and that is honestly not a good sign. But I think I found a handful of reasons why Roku's business still makes sense, why they still make a lot of money. The first reason is the obvious one. Right now we're in the middle of a COVID, and anything that involves staying at home and getting entertained is going to make money right now. The second one, cable TV contracts usually last 2 years before they hike up the price, right? And so Roku is a pretty good alternative if you need things like international channels or content that you want to stream, but you can't get it from other streaming services because they're like regular TV channels that you can only get from cable. This is the alternative so that you don't have to pay full price. The third reason is that Roku has big enough of a customer base to incentivize new streaming services to join Roku's platform. For example, Peloton joined Roku. This is a good sign because you're basically giving your existing user base a reason to pay more. This way everyone wins. Peloton gets a subscription fee, Roku gets a referral money, and the Roku users, they get better quality content. And the last positive about their business is actually something I accidentally noticed, because one of the reviewers said that some businesses will buy Roku because then they can stream free TV content in their work office, for example, in their lobby. And that reminded me of the fact that a lot of the Airbnbs I've been to has Roku installed. This basically provides a platform for people who are staying at Airbnb to get some free content on their TV and at the same time be able to, add their subscription service onto Roku temporarily to stream whatever content they want. Which to me means that Roku might actually have a very interesting B2B play here to capture some additional market that they weren't doing before. The first con I want to talk about is kind of a pro depending on which angle you want to look at it. So the context is that they've added 3 million additional users year over year, which to me is very low, but they've grown their revenue per user by 30%. That means that they essentially have been able to successfully upsell their existing users very, very well. But the challenge here is that you can only upsell your existing users so much. There's going to be a limit. And once you hit that limit, you're going to start bundling the channels that you have for sale. And eventually you're going to end up like a cable service anyway. I think that's problematic. However, This to me indicates that Roku actually makes a very, very enticing acquisition target for companies like Comcast. The whole idea is that cable TV is the old school way. They're losing users. Roku's capturing it. If Comcast buys Roku, done. But as a standalone business, I think Roku is going to have challenges going forward because they're growing too slow and they're only upselling existing customers. The second con I want to point out is that unlike other digital streaming services, as far as I know, Roku does not offer exclusive content. To me, that is a big problem going forward where people are going to buy what they want to buy, and most likely there's a whole culture of going direct anyway. You don't need Roku because most TVs are smart already, and therefore I feel like Roku is going to get slowly and slowly deprecated. For example, if you buy Samsung, it comes with free channels. You can add subscription channels as well. I mean, like, that basically is what Roku does. Without exclusive content, there's not going to be a need for Roku. Now, what makes this company a very interesting momentum trading company though, is the fact that their business feel like it's not going anywhere, but is making decent money. That's criteria one. Criteria two is that if you look at their charts, other than the COVID dip, they've been going up and down, up and down, up and down. Like, the volatility is there. And the spread is pretty large. It has a pretty predictable floor and ceiling, which means that you can basically trade on the low, on the high, pretty predictably. You can see the swing happening, you buy in. You can see the downturn about happening, you sell, etc., etc. This way you can option trade in a reasonably predictable way. You know, you can even short trade in a very predictable way. So this explains why there's a lot of momentum traders on this company. For me though, after 10 years of experience, what works for me is being a speculative business value investor, because I feel like I'm investing in ideas that I care about, helping those businesses grow by throwing some of my little amount of money into it, and we're rewarded on both sides. Whereas there's nothing wrong with what these other investors are doing, right? Those other forms of investing, if it works for you, power to you. But that is not what I do, and therefore I will not be investing in Roku. However, if you disagree with me or have any questions or concerns, please leave a comment, because I would love to hear from you. Get your thoughts about how you look at Roku, how you invest. I would love to hear back from you guys. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and help us grow this community. And if you have any requests for stocks, please leave a comment as well. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to working with you next time. So in my other video, I got a lot of good feedback. One feedback I found particularly interesting is this person told me to stop cussing so much, which is a really bad habit because that's kind of my personality. However, I understand where this person is coming from and why I need to perhaps create a better appeal for the people that I'm speaking with, because this is about financial literacy and less about me. So after a long debate with the thoughts in my head, I've decided to swap out cuss words with fajita. This way we all win. Fajita. 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 With fajita.